you're Simon from Deep Head Studios, am I correct?
That's correct.
Ah, that sounds fun. So, you make games.
Yes.
Games are good.
Games are very good.
Games are very, very good. And your first released game is Savant Descent, am I right?
That is correct too.
And I said it right?
Savant Descent, yeah.
Yay, cookies for me! So, yeah, alright, so, Game of the Year in 2013. How do you feel about that?
I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, we won 2 Game of the Year, so, and for a game that we've only worked on for 5 weeks.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. It's like, what can we do in 5 weeks? This, let's do that. Great, awesome.
Well, that's basically how we made all our games. Vikings on Trampolines won an award for that, made that in 1 week.
I haven't seen that game, but I now want to play it. That sounds like a very epic game. So, like, you're getting a lot of hype right now for Owlboy.
Yep.
Like, PAX, you were at PAX.
Yeah, we were at PAX, yeah.
You've pretty much been everywhere, like, game-wise.
Yeah, let's see, IGF, PAX, IGF is a GDC, we've been at Amazing Arcade, we've been at NGC, yeah, we've been at places.
So, some people would call you guys, like, the mad geniuses of the gaming world.
Why?
I don't know, first successful, that's bad words, like your first release game of the year, and now like you're making a game that's gotten a lot of hype already.
Well, I mean, my team has been working on it for about 4 years. I've been working on it for 7, so we've had time to build the hype, I guess.
Technically, that's 11 years.
Well, if you stack them next to each other.
Yes, good. So, like, what got you into gaming?
That's a very long-winded question. We already went through that.
Okay, abridged version.
Abridged version. My dad played games. I watched him play games. That was fun. My dad did cross-stitching, which is technically pixel art. My dad owned one of the first computers in northern Norway, and it had paint on it. So I would just sit around and do paint and make little games on that. Even though I couldn't make games, I just moved little pieces around. And eventually, that turned out I got assignments for people. I worked for WayForward very briefly on Contra 4, got a few assignments there, and then some guy said, hey, how about we start our own thing? And then I did.
So how long like have you actually been working on games?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I think since I was about 14. I got a very primitive program called Click and Play, which is terrible, don't use it. Then I moved on to Multimedia Fusion, which is essentially the same thing, only you can move things around better. It's terrible, don't use it. And then I realized that all these programs are terrible, and I prefer making the art for it, so I got some other schmuck to do the program for me. Which is also my best friend, by the way, so I don't want to call him a schmuck.
So RPG Maker, have you ever used that?
Yes.
Well, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a very intuitive program. I like it. The only thing about it is that people tend to stick to the art assets that come with it, and I would like to see more variation.
So do you mainly, from what I've seen, just do pixel art kind of games, like pixel games?
Yeah, that's not entirely true. It's more I like doing pixel art because on one hand you have this. I started doing pixel art before this whole indie wave came along, and there was this concept that pixel art is outdated, which is stupid. It's an art form. That doesn't make sense. So I wanted to promote that. But at the same time, as we were working on this game, you got a lot of developers that were doing, you know, retro style things, and it is technically pixel art, but it's not pushing the craft as much as you can. There's not that much honor in the work. So I've sort of done pixel art because it's kind of a little niche that we have. It's something that feels unique to us and something I enjoy. But I mean, if you've seen any of my other work, I do illustrations. I've done animations in full illustrated.
So you're the artist also for D-Pad?
I do all the art, all of it.
By the way, I like it.
Oh, that's good.
Good work. If I paid people, I'd pay you to draw.
Do they technically pay me? Well, I do. We pay each other, I guess. Yeah, no, that works. Yeah, there's money.
There's money somewhere in there, probably.
True.
All right, so what's something for like people getting into gaming right now, like trying to develop games that you can give them, I guess, advice?
Most important part, get a program that you're comfortable with. Learn some basic code if you can that, or get some other guy that knows code.
A schmuck.
Well, I wouldn't call him schmuck, but you know, I'm probably the schmuck because I don't know how to do programming. I'm completely number illiterate. But yeah, a good program, something easy to start out with. C#, I would recommend that. But also get someone you can cooperate really well with, because it's difficult to build a good team. That's hard. But aside from that, just make whatever you want. But if you're actually planning on doing it as a career, keep in mind that it's not the easy way. If you start into development, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just going to go into this and then I can make games and then I'll make money. No. What you do in a game company is that you sit down and you make games and you get money for it. With indie games, you have to do promotion, you have to do all your own art. When you do interviews, you have to sit there by yourself. You have to know how to do this kind of thing.
Talk to people.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Indeed. Oh, wait a second.
So it's a lot of work that you're not really prepared for. But if you have that drive, if you have that motivation to make something, it's okay to work for other people. But if you want to sort of create your own vision, just start working with people and start making it. Because if you sit there and think about it, yeah, day down the line, I'm gonna make this giant game and it's gonna be amazing. It's not gonna happen.
You gotta start somewhere, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is the last question of the hour. How do you feel about your next game coming out?
Which one?
Owlboy.
Owlboy?
There's another?
I think I'm not happy with it yet, because I had this idea in my head of some fantastic game. I think it's going to be great. What I'm most worried about is that we've waited so long, and I want everyone to play it, because it's not an ego thing. It's not that I want tons of money. It's the entire reason we're making this is because we want to change the world in some kind of way. And if no one plays it, then what did we do it for? So I have high hopes, and that's probably a problem.
So, I meant, like the last question would have been the last question. So, do you think we can get some footage of Owlboy?
Sure.
Awesome.
Here it is.
So final thoughts basically is like go with your passion basically.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get into gaming, go for it. But thick skin's needed basically.
Thick skin, and you need a lot of resolve for this. I mean, it's not just. On one hand, you have to make good stuff, and if you don't make good stuff, then you're not going to sell it. But it's marketing is a huge deal. Doing this kind of doing these kinds of games, if no one sees it, then you can't show it. But you also have to talk to people at conventions, and that's kind of skill on its own. But you have to have the budget, which means probably you're going to have to get funding from somewhere, or get money from your parents if they will let you, that kind of a thing. But you have to play lawyer sometimes too, because you have to sign contracts and you have to do your own paperwork and that kind of thing. And
paperwork, my mortal enemy.
so you're sitting there with this company now, and people are saying, oh, you have to be a responsible adult, and you have to file your taxes, and you have to pay employees and all that. Do you have any comprehension of how to do that? If you don't, then start making your game and then learn as you go. And if I have to say anything that is an advice, don't do what I did and start out with an RPG first, because that's the stupidest thing you can do. Start out with a small game and then build yourself up, because you're not going to have the skill set to do a huge game, finish it, and then publish it. Do something small that you can fail at, and then figure out how you failed, and then do it again and again and again and again until you figure out how to do it.
Alright, so we look forward to playing Owlboy.
Thank you.
It sounds like an interesting game. Well, what's the story, actually?
The story of Owlboy?
Yeah, the story of... I haven't looked it up, I'm sorry. Forgive me, I'm a noob! I put you on the spot.
True.
Yeah.
You play as Otis the Owl, who lives in a town where owls are revered, and he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and he's not quite living up to that expectation. And then basically pirates attack.
Ah, delightful pirates.
Yeah. They come in little airships, things blow up. It's great.
And then they start seeding, right?
They do what?
Seeding.
You did not just go there.
I totally Well, it's been nice talking to you, Simon. Thank
Likewise.
you all for having an interview with us. And yes, we look forward to playing Owlboy. Hooah!